Well, good evening, Southeast Texas. A beautiful day across the area with high temperatures up to 60. Boy, we barely hit 60 this afternoon, even with all the sunshine and less wind. Certainly a cold air mass that came down. And well, speaking of cold, it was a cold one this morning. We started out in the 20s this morning. Some record lows up in the lakes area. Had some 27s and 28s up there. Here in the Triangle, we started out even on I-10. We talked about this yesterday, how we would start out right around freezing, and we did this morning. Tonight it's going to be cold again, but not like what we had this morning. Instead of it being 28 in the lakes, you're looking at about 37, maybe 36 in the morning. Should be above freezing for the lakes in the morning. And up in Jasper on our Roofing 911 Skycam Network, sponsored by Provalis, you got into the upper 50s there as well. Should see mid to upper 30s tonight. Here in the Triangle, we're looking at about 40 to 42 in the morning. See a few high clouds out there. Those will be streaming through the area from north to south overnight tonight. So pretty chilly. Grab the jacket if you're heading out tonight. A nice night though. Isn't that cool? Down in Port Arthur, you see some of the smoke off in the distance there. That's from that fire in Bridge City, West Orange area. Plus there's a marsh fire near Sabine Pass. On our Roofing 911 Skycam Network down in Port Arthur, sponsored by Market Basket, you started out around 34 this morning in Port Arthur, just above freezing, and got up to 59, 58 or 59 this afternoon. Nonetheless, pretty mild, but it was rather cool to see lots of sun, but that changes beginning tomorrow. We should see highs around 71, 72 in the afternoon. So should be a pretty pleasant day coming up tomorrow, and not only tomorrow, but the rest of the week into the weekend, even into next week. Highs well into the 80s by then. Our Roofing 911 Skycam Network over in Orange, sponsored by the Horseman's Western Store. Lots of clear skies, beautiful Tuesday evening, and temperatures in Orange this morning dropped down to about 32, 33. So right along Interstate 10, we were at freezing this morning. Once again, we had those upper 20s in the lake. So chilly again tonight, but not as cold as it was this morning. It was cold this morning still. It really was. Almost unheard of, but it does happen occasionally from time to time in the month of March. But hopefully no more 30s for lows this season. And here in Beaumont, our Roofing 911 Skycam Network. Beaumont sponsored by Packard LaPrade. See a few high clouds off in the distance there. Those will be moving across the region overnight tonight. And once again, we'll be dropping on down here in the Triangle to the low 40s coming up for your Wednesday morning, and then back to about 71 tomorrow. All right, your weather headlines: a cold night tonight, warmer for the rest of the week. In fact, some mid 80s by the weekend, and no rain. I guess this is the bad news here. No rain at least for the next 7-8 days. Just don't see it. We'll show you that coming a little bit later when we take a look at our jet stream. Of course, it's very dry. We need the rain. I just don't see it the next week or so, unless something drastically changes, and I just don't see that happening either, unfortunately. And there'll be more and more fires going too as time goes on. The drier it gets again each day. 59 Jasper, 56 Beaumont, 55 in Orange. It's a cool Tuesday evening. There's those high clouds we showed you are working north to south across those cirrus clouds. Had a bunch of those last night. A little patch there around Jasper. Their surface high pressure pretty much right over Lake Charles. So with it clear tonight, or mostly clear, we'll see a few high clouds. And this high nearby, light winds, yeah, it's going to be chilly tonight. Pretty cold. Not like this morning, but cold enough. You'll certainly need that jacket in the morning. Now, across the rest of the state, it's been warm this afternoon. Actually had a few 80s out over the west. It's 70 in Abilene, 65 Waco, 66 in Austin. Of course, we're running in the 50s. 63 in Dallas, 58 up at Fort Smith, Arkansas. This warming trend will continue to shift to the east as cold surface high pressure moves east. We'll have this warmer weather in our area tomorrow. In fact, we'll be around 71, 72 as we talked about earlier, and even a few 80s out over the west. And we're running about 6-7 degrees warmer now than we were this exact same time yesterday evening. Well, Lufkin's quite a bit warmer, 13 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. And the farther west you go, the warmer it is compared to just during the last 24 hours. But we'll be in that tomorrow. We'll be much warmer than we were today, but not tonight. Still pretty cold. Here's a look at these lows. 44 Houston, 40 Conroe, 39 Huntsville. Notice our viewing area, the lakes area, Burkeville, 33, not out of the question in the morning. 35 to Ritter, 39, 40 along Interstate 10. This may be a degree or two too cold, but still very close. You're going to need the jacket again for Wednesday morning, but it's going to warm up a lot quicker tomorrow than it did today. Hey, we struggled to hit 60 this afternoon, and that was even with a lot of sun. And see how dry the air still is? Remember last night we had dew points in the single digits and teens. It's come up a little bit. We're in the upper 20s, a triangle, low to mid 20 dew points in the lake. What a dew point is the exact measure of moisture in the atmosphere. So virtually no moisture to speak of across southeast Texas. That dry air means it's going to be chilly once again tonight, that's for sure. But these numbers, the dew points and the humidity, will start going up a little bit starting tomorrow, and even more so on Thursday. Satellite view, kind of a broader view. There's the high over southwest Louisiana, a few high clouds streaming in from the north, and those are cirrus clouds, certainly not going to cause any problems. Upper atmosphere, notice our wind flow aloft is out of the northwest. That's a dry flow. And notice as we zoom out, it's not going to change much over the next, this is Thursday evening, big high over the west, flow around that's out of the north. Now this is a loft in the mid and upper atmosphere. At the surface, our winds will be off the Gulf. But with a flow like this out of the north, forget about any rain chances at all. We'll carry it on through Saturday. We'll go on through Sunday. How about Monday? The high does weaken a little bit to our west and shifts to the west. There's a weak little high, very weak over Texas, but there's nothing near us. Storm tracks way up over the Midwest. I have a light northerly flow, zonal flow. We're not going to see rain with that. So that dry weather is going to continue at least through next Monday and Tuesday. Futurecast overnight, watching those temperatures dropping on down through the 40s to the low 40s by morning, some upper 30s up in the lakes. Shield the high clouds moving across late tonight into the morning. But we warm up nicely tomorrow, much better than today. Look at that. 72, 73 in a few areas. That's going to be nice compared to the 60 we had today. Hopefully we're gone with this cold stuff. Hopefully we're done with it. All right, marine forecast, southeast to south winds up to about 15 knots tomorrow. Water temperature at 72. Though the wind's a little bit higher tomorrow off the Gulf, but still not too bad. That'll help that humidity start coming back up too, by the way. And for tonight, lakes, inland southeast Texas and the triangle, just a few high clouds from time to time, otherwise mostly clear and cold. Lows upper 30s, lakes, 40, 42 along Interstate 10. Of course, you start going down to Port Arthur, Sabine Pass, a little bit warmer, closer to the water there. And the wind, certainly not a factor tonight. They'll be light out of the southeast. And for your Wednesday, mostly sunny, warmer. Highs in the low 70s. So we're getting there. Very nice. A little bit warmer tomorrow compared to today. A few high clouds from time to time. Winds pick up a little bit off the Gulf, southeast to south at 5 to 15 miles an hour. 7-day forecast, cold tonight, 71 tomorrow, close to 80 on Thursday. There's an 82. That's nice on Friday. Mostly sunny each day. Up to 83 Saturday. There's those mid 80s there. Sunday, Monday,